Hi there, crafty friends. Welcome and thank you for joining me. My name is Melissa, and today I thought we would make this super cute card using mostly honeybee stamps items. Now, this came together really easily. It is a little bit fiddly, but it is super cute when you are done. So, we are going to be using the Honeybee Stamps Lovely Layers Cherry Blossom. Now there are a lot of little pieces here. We're going to be using the main branch die. And then what I did was I've already got them taken off of the backing and separated from flowers and leaves. So we will be using that. And also, I got this from Firefly Farm in Minnesota, and she sent me this little layering guide. I'm pretty sure it probably comes standard with this die set, but it was very handy in figuring out how to layer everything. And then we will also be using the honeybee stamps. This is the Vintage Flora background stamp, and I just love this. This is so pretty. I've stamped a couple images here so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like, but it is so pretty. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got my Misty, and we will be using, I took out the foam mat out of there because we are using a red rubber stamp. So let's try to get this lined up nice and straight. I'm trying to look at the lines and make sure it's lined up straight. Let's get that in there. Pick it up on our, I think that's, yeah, that looks pretty good. Pick it up on our lid and bring in our paper. So for this, I am using Stampin' Up! Paper because I have it. So use what you have. And I like their colors, and I still have so much of it. So that's what we will be using today, and this is just crumb cake. I am going to take and just put a couple pieces, small little pieces of adhesive on there so that sticks while we stamp it up, because we will probably have to stamp more than once. So I shut that bottom on there, and that puts my paper right in place. It's nice and secure and won't go anywhere. And we are going to start with our Versamark. So we're going to get this inked up really well. And funny thing here, I've had this video, hopefully I'm not shaking too much. I got a new camera mount and I'm not used to it. But I've had this video here planned for quite a while. And we took my friend to the airport the other day because she is going to Japan. And the first question I asked her when we got in the car is, do you think you're going to get to see the cherry blossoms? And we weren't sure or not if they would be blooming yet, but she sent me a couple pictures this morning. She texted me, and one of the pictures was of cherry blossoms. So I was super excited about that. I just love cherry blossoms. I love pink. Anything pink. Pink is my favorite color. And you can see that starting to come to life with that Versamark. And the Versamark, it is a clear ink, so it's just going to give you a watermark image. Just make sure we get that impression on there. And that's perfect. So let's get that out of there. I should have, let's start from the other side where it's not. There we go. That came right out. Oh, we got a little bit off of there, but that's okay. Nobody will see the back. So now that we've got our background done, we can put that aside and let's work on our die cutting. So for our die cutting, I have all my die cuts separated, and we need to do this twice because we need two branches. We're going to cut one of them, but the one branch on the bottom here is a full branch. So we need 2 of everything. I am going to cut one of my branch, one of my white for the flowers, and one of my green for the leaves. And what I like to do here is I like to look at the leaves and you can see the veins. I like to put the veins on the bottom because we are going to ink blend these. And I want to make sure that I ink blend in the correct direction because we are just going to add shading at the base of our greenery. So I've got the veins all positioned down. And then we will do the same thing for our flowers. So for my flowers, what I'm doing is I am just going to take the flower and put the base of the flower on the bottom of my paper. That way, when I ink blend those, it will also be very easy to know which part of the flower is the top of the flower and which part is the bottom, so we can get that shading correctly. So I've got 10 pieces for my greenery, and then we've got 15 pieces of flower here for our flowers. And they all fit on there really well, just like that. And you don't need a very big piece. We're just going to cut these all out. So let me go ahead and do that. I will cut out all 3 pieces of paper twice. So I've got everything all cut out. Now we are going to bring in our sticky mat. This is just a waffle flower 6x6 sticky mat. And we are going to attach our pieces of paper right onto that so it holds all our little dies in place while we ink blend them. So I will go ahead and get everything put into its correct little spot here. There we go. Pretty simple. It is very rainy and dark today and cloudy, so I'm hoping the light is okay. Like I said, I got a new camera mount and it's definitely a little different than the one that I was using before. So hopefully the lighting is okay. And you definitely need tweezers for this job when we put this card together, the cherry blossoms on there. So I've got 3 greenery pieces here. Those are all the same. And then this 4th little flower bud part is the only one that's different. So I've got all my little pieces put in their perspective little holes where they were die cut from, except for this one. We are not going to color that one. So here I am going to bring in my colors. For my cardstock here, I think that one was Mossy Meadow. I will have everything listed that I used in the description below. And we are using Pink Fresh Ballet Slipper and Pink Fresh Evergreen. So I've got my waffle flower blending brushes, and I am just going to add some color to the bottom of these leaves. That didn't work very well, did it? We're just going to add some shading just to the base of the leaves, just to give it a little bit more dimension, just like that, just for shading. That should be good. Let's move on to our ballet slipper. And Pink Fresh does have a color called Cherry Blossom. I believe so. Yes, but it was just a little bit darker than I wanted for this project. So that's why I brought in the ballet slipper. And here I'm using my little tiny brush, and we are just going to add color to our white die cuts. I don't want to add a lot of color, but we are adding some color. And I noticed my lights are flicking. I hope the power doesn't go out. You know, it's supposed to be super windy, but it's really not that windy. But it is rainy, drizzly, dark. I love weather like this, especially when I don't have to go anywhere. It's so nice to just sit back and enjoy it. So all of my pieces are all shaded. They've all got color on them. So now we can go ahead and we can start assembling our cherry blossom branch. And I am just going to try to leave all my pieces on the sticky mat. That way I don't lose them. I was die cutting and I actually dropped one and had to search for it. And you know, when you have little tiny pieces, they can be hard to find sometimes. So let's bring in our branch. And I've got my fine tip glue, and you really do need a fine tip glue bottle for this. It just helps so much. So there are two flowers that you need to have the greenery down before you put the flower on there. And this is one of them. So let's do our greenery here. I'm running out of glue in this bottle. I need to fill up a new one because I cracked the lid on this, but it's still got so much left in there to use. So I don't want to get rid of it quite yet. And everything just lines up perfectly. So then this flower up here is our other flower that we need to add that leaf to. Just like that. So those are the two important ones that you have to put on first. We are going to leave these four up on top for last after we do the flowers. So let me get these other leaves attached and then we will move on to flowers. All our greenery is attached. We can now move on to flowers. Let's do a couple big ones first. And you don't need a lot of glue here. You don't want it to seep out. It just takes a little bit of glue to attach your flowers and they line up beautifully. Let's work on this one because this one is a little tricky. So we're going to pull this off and it's got two pieces. It's got this piece and this piece that we did not ink blend on. So this is going to go on top of there. But first, let's put this one on our flower. Let's attach it. There are several flowers in here that have 3 layers. And I found it easiest to do this one before attaching it to the stem. So just like that. And because we used liquid glue, we can kind of nudge them into place. Now let's add our other piece. And this does come together very easy, but it is fiddly work. Most definitely fiddly work. So you need to have just a little bit of patience. But it's oh so pretty when you get it done. So we're going to set that off right there. I will go ahead and attach some other flowers. There we go. I've got the majority of the base of the flowers attached. So now let's go ahead. There's 2 of these. These are identical pieces here. And I am going to attach these now. We're just going to put a little bit of glue back there. And one of these goes right here on this flower and it fits perfectly. Now the next one, I just kind of guessed. I know there is the layering guide, but it's all pretty self-explanatory. So I'm just going to put this one on that flower. We can attach that larger flower that we put together in the beginning, and that goes right up here. And just kind of nudge it into place. that liquid glue holds pretty quick. And then I've got this little piece here. This will make our third layering piece on this flower. And this is so pretty. I just thought this came out so nice. Then we've got two, and you can see these are pretty close in shape, except it has a little point over here, and this one has a point on the left. So the one with the point on the right, I am going to put on this flower right down here. And you probably could put dimension underneath these little pieces, but I didn't. So then I'm just going to put that one on the other flower. And now we can add the last of our greenery. So there's 4 of them. And there's one that is different than the others. I'm going to take that one. And that piece goes on this flower here. So I'm just going to hold that in place. Just like that. Just hold it for a second until that glue takes hold, and then you're good. And then I've got 3, and they go on our buds that have not opened yet. So my neighbor is in Japan, my friend. She will be there 3 weeks. She is there for work, and I am so jealous. I would love to go into a arts and craft store in Japan. I have seen videos, and they are out of this world. They have all the Copic colors. They have everything. So many different art mediums, all in one store. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this. So I did make another one because we needed 2. We cut those dies out twice, and one of them we will be cutting. Don't be afraid to cut your dies apart once you have them assembled. So I've got my foam here. I wanted a little bit of dimension on my card, so I'm putting the foam behind my background, and then we will attach our background to our card base. And then for my sentiment, I've got hello. Now you can use any sentiment that you want for this. You could make it a Mother's Day card, a birthday card, a sympathy card, any kind of a card that you want. So for my sentiment, I used the Honeybee Hello, and this is from their Honey Cuts line. And let me just show you real quick here. You get 3 dies with this. And I looked this morning, and Firefly Farm does not have this die, but the Honeybee website did. So you get 3 dies with this. You get the outline, you get the black outline, then you get the blue outline, and you can make these any color you want, and then you get the word hello. And I just thought that would be perfect for this card. And what I did was I'm only using one of the layers, and for my hello, I cut that 3 times and stacked it. And I've got some foam tape on the back of there. So now we just need to place our branches here and see where they will fit nicely. And I think that's what I did for that one right there. I think that's perfect. We're going to cut this off. Don't be afraid to cut. We are going to cut it off right here, right on that branch, so it looks sort of like we didn't cut it. There we go. And that will fit up there perfectly. And then I've got my sentiment. Let's attach our sentiment first so we don't lose our placement. And I just put a little bit of very thin foam tape on the back of this. My allergies have been bothering me so bad the last couple weeks. I have been coughing and runny nose, and my eyes are bugging me. And then I think that looks good right there. So let's go ahead and place that down, and then we can attach our images around the hello. So here I've also got some very thin foam squares, and these say scrapbook adhesive on them. So I'm guessing that's where I got it, scrapbook.com. So I'm just going to flip over my branches here. Oh, I've already got foam tape on that one. I'm going to add some foam tape to my other, and we're just going to put it in the larger areas. And then I've got a couple here that I cut just to make them a little smaller. We're just going to cut those, and we can add those on our branches, or actually on the buds. I put those on the flower buds, just like that. Now I want to take this and I'm just going to curl up my flowers just a little bit to give them a little bit more dimension. Just so it gives it a little bit more personality. I'm going to add a little bit of glue right here to the base of that branch, and then on the leaves that I did not put any foam on. So let's get those backers off. I probably should have taken the backers off before I put glue on there, but I think it'll work. I'm going to bring this close to me, and we are just going to add that branch right there. And I want it in the corner. Get that placed and push it down, and that's perfect. So now I am going to do the same thing with this one, but let's take our backers off first. Then we'll add a little bit of glue to our branch, just like that. Not too much. We don't want it to seep through. We don't want to have to clean up a lot of residual glue. So we'll just hold on to that. We'll bring that in here. I want that branch right in the corner. And just like that. And then even once they're attached, you can still kind of bend up your petals just a little bit for some more dimension, some more personality and character. And that card is almost done. So then I brought in some pearls. I wanted to keep it very dainty. So let's go ahead and just add some pearls to this. And there you go. We are done. I might have gone a little overboard with the pearls on there. You can use any embellishment you have. Just use what is in your stash. But I wanted to keep it feminine, very dainty. And then if you don't want to create two cherry blossom branches for your card, if you just want to do something a little more simple, a little quicker, that doesn't take so much time, you can do one here with just one branch. And I think those just came out so pretty. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.